All right, people. Everywhere you look, you see the same pattern. The West opens up its borders to people from other cultures, hoping that they will move in, integrate, and within a generation or two, they will become an integral part of Western society. So much so that their previous identity will either totally disappear or become secondary. And to be fair, to some extent, it has worked with some cultures. For example, the Japanese, the Vietnamese, the Chinese, and Indians. Their second and third generations have done really well when it comes to integrating and assimilating. The biggest proof of that, you don't see many Indian Americans or Chinese Americans or Japanese Americans having completely opposite political views to mainstream society. But there is one exception, Islam, because Muslims love to hold on to their Muslim identity. And since Islam is inherently anti-Western, because it's not just a religion, it is a complete set of ideas, from how you should go to the bathroom, to how you should speak, how you should walk, to what kind of political views you should have, whether you should have free speech or not, whether women should be empowered or not, whether children should be married at a young age or not. Everything. Islam has its fixed ideas about every single issue of life. So consequently, second and third generation of Muslims turn out to be even more radical than their parents who migrated to Western countries. And if you want to understand this, then there is no better place than Europe to look, watch, observe, and study. Now, what if I told you that there is a better way of making money? Just this year, something interesting happened. While everyone was busy arguing about energy transitions and climate targets, the real world quietly reminded us how things actually work. Global infrastructure is booming. Military spending is surging. Entire regions are building at a pace we haven't seen in decades. And all of it depends on one thing: steel. Around 1.9 billion tons of steel are produced every year, and every single ton requires metallurgical coal. Not as a fuel you can swap out, but as a chemical input with no large-scale replacement. No coal means no steel. No steel means no warships, no fighter jets, no infrastructure, no modern defense systems. That's not ideology. That's physics. In fact, the US government recently declared a national emergency to expand coal supply chains, recognizing just how critical this material has become. Which brings us to Forge Resources, trading as FRG on the CSE and FRGGF on the OTC. Forge is positioning itself right in the middle of the supply crunch. Their flagship asset, the La Estrella project in Colombia, isn't some speculative idea. It's fully permitted and actively advancing, sitting directly inside a supply chain the world is scrambling to secure. And Colombia itself is emerging as a key global supplier of metallurgical coal with strong trade alignment with the United States and growing strategic importance. Meanwhile, prices are telling the same story. Met coal has pushed toward $240 per ton in 2026. That's not a random spike. That's the market reacting to a structural shortage. Here's the reality most people miss. The biggest driver right now isn't demand, it's the lack of new supply. And when supply gets tight in something this critical, the companies positioned early tend to benefit the most. That's the space Forge Resource is operating in. If you want to understand where steel, energy security, and global defense trends are heading, it's worth taking a closer look. Check out the link in the description to learn more about Forge Resources and whatever they're building. Now let's get back to the video. I think all of our democracies are going through a stress test. The UK is falling apart. France and Germany are falling apart. This problem of Islamism is knocking on the door of Australia and America. Have a look at this photo, guys. This is a photo a Texas resident took while shopping at the local Costco in Texas. Look at this, guys. This is an onslaught on your way of life. This is not about hating them as culture or people or religion or ideology. You know what? The days of lecturing other cultures to become westernized, they're over. I'm a former Muslim. I grew up in Islam, and I saw what kind of a backward medieval culture or ideology that is. I separated myself. I'm an ex-Muslim. So I don't want to lecture them how to run their societies. Go do whatever you want in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, in your hellhole countries. Do whatever you want. But I'm telling the Westerners that you need to be at least as aggressive as them when it comes to protecting your way of life. But we have bleeding heart lefties who, as I said, they're just interested in winning the next election. So they are on this irreversible path of self-destruction. They're going to go down and they're going to take us down with them. This is a perfect encapsulation of a lefty mind. Look at this. This was a Swedish lefty woke politician, Zaida Catalan. She believed in open borders. She believed in equality. All cultures the same. Is the far right wing white supremacist lunatics that we need to worry about. They're the source of all evil. Everyone else is good. So she went to Congo and she got beheaded along with her American colleague. She was on a UN mission. So these people are opening the doors to people from hostile cultures who have nothing in common, who have no interest in integrating. They have their own set of ideas that are ingrained in their psyche for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And it is extreme arrogance to think that cultures that have survived hundreds or thousands of years are going to somehow come to the West and forget about their previous allegiances, their entire upbringings, and sing Kumbaya with us. We've seen how Europe is falling apart. Spain legalized 500,000 illegals. And in the last 4 days, there have been 7 stabbings of ordinary Spaniards by these third worlders. And counting. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. What am I talking about? So sorry, I digressed. So Americans, this is what's happening in your country. Segregation is back. Watch this quick video.
Welcome to Epic 2.0. Epic City is more than just a neighborhood. It's a way of life, a meticulously designed community that brings Islam to the forefront.
A meticulously designed community that brings Islam to the forefront. Not American values, not the American Constitution, not the American way of life, Islam. Meaning burqas, abayas, hijabs, Sharia patrols. A little Islamabad in the heart of Texas.
With single-family homes, multi-family townhomes and apartments, senior living, and in the heart a mosque and a school. Parks for Eid prayer, carnivals, and community events. We ask Allah to help us complete this project.
Yeah, we ask Allah to help us complete this project. And we have to make sure that it doesn't happen. Imagine creating a city whites only. Imagine that. Imagine the hoo-ha. So they know they can't do that, but they want to make a Muslim-only city. I'm not exaggerating it. Listen to this Muslim himself.
29-acre land. So like you said, brother, masjid, homes, a total Muslim village. So we're still debating on the name, but it's going to be something Muslim.
Epic city now.
Name and a village attached to it, right? The names of this.
Because it ended up being so big, they said, why should we call it a village? It's so big, it should be called a city. So they went, and they obviously discarded the idea of a Muslim name because they were like, ooh, that's going to alarm a lot of people. So very clever on that part. So they ended up deciding that it should be called the Epic City.
So we're still debating on the name, but it's going to be something Muslim name and a village attached to it, right? The names of the streets, Khalid ibn al-Walid, Tariq bin Ziyad, like all the great conquerors. Like people need to Google those conquerors and know like what are we made of. Yeah.
Look at the hubris. Look at the arrogance. They don't even hide their intentions. So these guys, Tariq bin Ziyad, for example, no need to Google. I'll tell you who he was. He was an 8th century conqueror who conquered Spain. You as an American might not care about Spain, well, whatever, but that's not the intent here. That's not the idea. It is to rub it in your faces that a Muslim conquered a Christian country. And this is exactly what we're doing here. And try and stop us if you can. We are conquering America. We're not naming it after great American heroes. We're naming it after our heroes. Well, then go and do it in your own countries. But no, we're going to do it right here because we are in the process of conquering America. At least these are their aspirations, okay? When your enemy tells you what they're going to do to you, then at least listen to them for a moment. I know, as I said, we've got these lefty wokes who would put fingers in their ears and they will keep supporting these people until the day comes when a lefty woke LGBTQ person is thrown off a rooftop, because that's the prescribed punishment of the LGBTQ people in Islam. Look at the laughter. They're laughing at it. So we're going to do this.
Islamophobes are burning the road.
Google.
And look at the Tiggerman. They're calling us Islamophobes. How would they feel if we started naming streets after Abu Jahl? Yeah, Abu Jahl was a sworn enemy of Muhammad. How about we start naming streets after Genghis Khan for massacring tens of thousands of Muslims? How would they feel? But if we say that you should not be naming people who massacred Christians, who annexed Christian lands, then you're an Islamophobe. Like, you can't reason with these people.
Tariq bin Ziyad, you know? And then we want to have different sections like Andalusia, this, that, like all our past glories, and we want to bring it back. The way what we're doing, brother, like you cannot make it exclusive, like non-Muslims not allowed, kuffar not allowed. What we're
Kuffar, infidels are not allowed. So they know they cannot make segregated society, so they know, but there's a work around it.
doing, there's something called association fee. I don't know what it's called in Dubai. Like your maintenance fee that you pay yearly, to cutting the service fee, to cut the grass, to remove the snow and whatnot. So that service fee will put there 75% of the service fee you're paying goes to the masjid.
So they would automatically not want to come.
Automatically, if you are a practicing Christian, I would advise you, why help the Muslims, you know? Let Muslims do their own thing, right? So this is the way we're going to put the clause. And our attorney already put it there. So we have, brother, think about
How clever. So imagine I create a city for white people only, okay? And in order to discourage blacks and non-whites, I say 70% of the service fee or whatever it is, body corporate fee or whatever, will go to the KKK. Is KKK a prescribed organization? Yes, okay, there you go. Yes, in general, a person can legally donate to KKK-affiliated groups in the United States. Okay, imagine you create a city for whites only, and you say 75% of your service fee, maintenance fee, whatever that is, will go to the KKK. So automatically, blacks won't come. Isn't that a great idea? Now, it's not illegal, but is it ethical? Surely not. Anyway, so this is the reason why Amy Meck, who is a wonderful American, one day her services will be recognized, who's worked a lot on this, and a lot of this has come to our attention because of her. So she brought it up, and it was picked up by the governor of Texas, Governor Greg Abbott, and this is what he did.
A planned Muslim-centric community down in Texas has hired a high-profile lawyer as the state warns the developers don't build here. East Plano Islamic Center, or Epic City as it would be called, would be 400 acres just outside of Dallas. It would have about 1,000 homes. It's got parks, a school, a mosque. But Governor Greg Abbott has launched several investigations claiming they want to impose Sharia law or Islamic law.
Could look like we're showing you the video. According to the Epic City website, the planned community would include 1,000 homes, a K-12 faith-based school, a mosque, apartment shops, even a community college. Their attorney pointing out that this community will include professionals, doctors, politicians, even a mayoral candidate. And the biggest point of all, they're a law-abiding Texans. But Texas Governor Greg Abbott is now demanding the developers behind the Epic City stop construction on the planned community within 7 days. He's called for a flurry of investigations, as well as directed Texas Rangers to probe for potential criminal activities but not providing details.
Right now, the property is a cow field. I mean, what are the rangers going to look for? A cow patty? There are no dead bodies there. There's no meth lab there. It's an empty pasture in North Texas. And that's the absurdity of what's happening.
The Epic City say their community will be inclusive and open to anyone, not just Muslims. Critics claim the city will be or will adhere to Sharia law. Governor Abbott saying Sharia law is not allowed in Texas, nor are Sharia cities.
See how slippery they are? When you drop the hammer, they say, oh, no, everyone is allowed. That guy was obviously officially associated with the team behind the creation of this East Plano Islamic Center. So Governor Greg Abbott shut it down. He said, no Sharia in Texas. And then, lo and behold, they went to court. They challenged it. And a judge, possibly another activist, lefty, woke judge, gave a green light to the controversial Muslim Epic Cities development, to which Governor Greg Abbott has applied that he has already appealed. And let me quote him, "The meadow will never see the light of day." There's Governor Greg Abbott's tweet. Texas has already appealed and halted this flawed ruling. The meadow is also subject to other legal action by the state, and there are active investigations by state agencies and by the federal government. This development will never see the light of day. So that's where we're at, guys. We cannot allow this. As I said, it's not about hating any ideology, any religion, any group of people. We're past that. It's about being proud of who you are and standing firm for your way of life, which is completely opposite to the Islamic way of life. And there is no shame in saying that, sorry, we don't want to be conquered. We don't want to be influenced. We don't want our values to erode away in order to make way for a foreign way of life. That's how it needs to be. And before I go, let me play you another video. It's not just Texas. Did you see how they said that, oh, we're not trying to establish Sharia? It's not exclusively for Muslims only? Look at this. This has already happened. This is Hamtramck, Michigan.
Everybody really is Muslim here. I think they should change the name to Hamtramck now. And all I can see are Muslims.
Hamtramck. Isn't that amazing? You go from ham, the Muslims hate, ham, to halal track.
That's a Muslim uncle over there, those Muslim kids.
Listen to this guy.
Can you imagine an entire city? Nothing this ambitious has ever been planned before in North America. And there's only one community that inshallah ta'ala can do it. And that is our community right here, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Say inshallah. What if we were to take the best of what Epic has to offer, and then rather than just 100 houses, maybe 1,000+ houses, rather than just one masjid and one facility, a magnificent complex, rather than just an apartment complex that happens to be
basically spread like cancer. You will never see a Chinese American or a Japanese American be saying things like this.
America, the American government, secularism, democracy, capitalism, these are cancers that have spread their illness all over the world.
But they shamelessly live here. That's why I told you at the start. Islam is different. Muslims are different. Not every Muslim may want to overthrow the American Constitution, but they're irrelevant. I always love to give this example. You know, only 23 to 24% of the German population voted for Hitler in the 1933 general election. What happened to the other 77%? They didn't vote for Hitler. They probably didn't even like Hitler. What happened to them? They also got bombed in 44 and 45. A lot of them died. A lot of them paid for Hitler's crime, but they became irrelevant. You see, when you want to overthrow a system, you don't need 51% of the population to do that. You only need a handful of committed, ideologically dogmatic people to bring about a revolution. No, I'm not saying that America is going to fall tomorrow, but how soon is soon enough? Just ask the Europeans, just ask the Brits. Only until very recently, they were like, nothing's just... Actually, Piers Morgan is still saying today that nothing's going to happen. It's all good. Stop worrying. You people are just exaggerating that we are being overrun by Muslims. By 2063, I think, Muslims would become majority in the UK if the current trend continues. So the Brits have only two options. Either let go of their thousands of years of proud history, culture, tradition. Oh, that hurts. It really hurts me just to even think about it. So that can't be an option. That's option one. Lefties will say, yeah, sure. Or the second option is wake up and say, nope, not going to happen. We tried, but you guys didn't integrate. You guys hate our flag. The Brits can't even wave the Union Jack. That's why I put up my Union Jack right here. You're not even allowed to wave your flags, your national flag, because it offends people. Well, what the hell are you doing in their country then? If the very flag of the country that you live in offends you, then what the hell are you doing here? Kick them out. That's the second option. You have to bring in extreme, hardcore deportation policy. And the longer you delay it, the harsher the policy will have to be. Now, America is nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. But you know how that guy was saying America is the cancer? No, Islam is the cancer. So you need to go full radiotherapy on them.